The Saga of Bjorn Ironside, the Oath of the Frostborn. In the heart of 9th century Norway, where fjords carved the earth like the scars of ancient gods and the northern lights danced to Odin's silent song, the saga of Bjorn Ironside was born. His name, etched in stone and sung by skalds, is a tale of vengeance, loyalty, and a son's unbreakable vow to reclaim his kin. This is no mere story. It is a journey through blood and ice, where the gods watch and the sea whispers of destiny. The hearth of Hardangerfjord. Bjorn came into the world in a village nestled along the Hardangerfjord, where cliffs loomed like silent sentinels and the sea's breath carried tales of Valhalla. His father, Jarl Sigurd, was a man of steady hand and iron will, his longhouse a haven of warmth where mead flowed and stories of heroes filled the air. His mother, Astrid, was a shield maiden whose legend rivaled the Valkyries. Her axe struck like lightning, her laughter a fire that warmed the coldest nights. At 16 winters, Bjorn was their pride, broad-shouldered, with sea-blue eyes and hands calloused from axe, shield, and oar. The village thrived under Sigurd's rule. Fields of barley gleamed like gold, and the docks bristled with longships, their prows carved with wolves and serpents. Bjorn spent his days learning the sea's secrets from Gunnar, an old shipwright whose hands shaped what like a poet shapes words. He sparred with Frida, a young archer whose arrows flew with deadly grace, and listened to Sigrid, the village seer, whose runes whispered of fates entwined with the gods. Life was hard but rich, a tapestry of labor and laughter, until the night fate turned its blade. The night of ashes. Under a moonless sky, when the stars hid in fear, Jarl Thrain Blackaxe struck. His clan, driven by greed for Sigurd's lands and thralls, descended from the hills like a tide of shadow. The village awoke to chaos. Huts blazed, their timbers crackling like breaking bones, and screams tore through the night. Bjorn, roused from sleep, grabbed his father's old axe, its handle worn smooth by years of use. He fought beside Sigurd, their blades flashing in the firelight. But Thrain's men were relentless, their numbers overwhelming. Sigurd faced Thrain in the heart of the village, their duel a clash of giants. The Jarl's strength was mighty, his axe a blur, but Thrain was cunning, his black axe a harbinger of death. With a feint and a brutal strike, Thrain cleaved Sigurd's chest, felling him like a storm-torn oak. Bjorn, fighting nearby, saw his father fall, his cry drowned in the din. Astrid, shield raised, rallied the survivors, her voice a beacon of defiance. She cut down 3 men before Thrain's warriors overwhelmed her, binding her in chains as Bjorn, struck by a spear to the shoulder, collapsed among the dead. Dawn revealed a village of ashes. Bjorn awoke, his wound burning, his heart shattered. He knelt by Sigurd's body, the Jarl's eyes staring blankly at the sky. Astrid was gone, taken by Thrain's men. Alone amidst the ruins, Bjorn carved a rune of vengeance into a stone, his blood mixing with the earth. Odin, hear me, he swore, his voice trembling but resolute. I will find my mother, or my blood will stain the seas. A raven circled above, its cry a sign that the Allfather listened. The Wanderer's Forge. For 7 years, Bjorn wandered, a shadow among men. He joined raiding parties, sailing to Frankia's stone-walled monasteries, where he plundered gold and silver, each coin a step toward his goal. In Anglia, he fought alongside warriors who worshipped the nailed god, his axe earning him the name Irefang, for it bit through armor like a wolf's jaws. In the Rustlands, he braved frozen rivers, trading furs with men whose eyes gleamed like ice. Each raid, each scar, was a forge for his soul, tempering his resolve. Bjorn's heart grew hard, but not cold. He carried Astrid's memory like a torch in the dark, her laughter, her lessons, her fierce love. In the port of Birka, he heard whispers of Thrain's rise. The Black Axe had built a stronghold near Kattegat, his longships raiding as far as the lands of the Danes. Some said he traded captives to merchants bound for distant shores, others that he offered blood to Loki for power. Bjorn's blood boiled. Could Astrid still live, or had she been sold beyond the seas? To face Thrain, Bjorn needed a crew. In a smoky mead hall, lit by flickering torches, he found his warriors. Sigrid, the seer from his village, had survived the raid, her hair now streaked with silver, her runes sharper than ever. She saw Bjorn's fate in the bones, a path of blood and glory. Leif, a berserker with a laugh like thunder, joined for the promise of battle, his body a map of scars from fights where he danced with death. Frida, the archer from his youth, had grown into a woman of quiet strength, her bow a whisper of doom. Gunnar, the old shipwright, offered his longship, Wolf's Hunger, its hull carved with runes of speed and strength. Last was Eirik, a young skald whose songs could stir hearts or break them, his presence a gift to immortalize their saga. Then came Ingrid, a shield maiden whose twin swords danced like flames, her loyalty fierce as a winter storm. They forged a bond, not of blood but of purpose. Sigrid cast the runes, revealing that Thrain's longship, Serpent's Breath, would sail from Kattegat in 3 days, bound for a raid on Jutland. Bjorn stood before his crew, his voice steady as stone. "We sail at dawn. Thrain's blood will answer for my kin, or we'll feast in Valhalla." The hall roared, axes raised, as the firelight danced in their eyes. The trials of the sea. The journey to Kattegat was no easy path. The sea, restless as a chained beast, tested Wolf's Hunger with storms that tore at the sails. Lightning split the sky, and waves crashed over the deck, but Gunnar's skill kept the ship afloat, his hand steady as he whispered to the wood like an old friend. Sigrid stood at the bow, chanting to Njord, god of the sea, her voice rising above the wind. Bjorn, gripping the mast, felt the god's eyes upon them. There will a weight heavier than the storm. On the second night, a rival longship appeared, its prow carved with a serpent's head, not Thrain's, but a band of raiders seeking easy prey. Bjorn's crew met them in battle, their blades flashing under a clouded sky. Leif, roaring like a bear, leapt onto the enemy's ship, his axe cleaving through shields. Frida's arrows flew, each finding a mark, while Ingrid's swords danced, cutting down foes with terrifying grace. Eirik fought with a spear, his skald's voice shouting defiance. Bjorn led the charge, his axe a blur, and within moments, the enemy ship was theirs, its crew scattered to the waves. The victory was a sign, Sigrid said, that Freya favored their cause. But the cost was heavy. Wolf's Hunger was damaged, its hull gashed. Gunnar worked through the night, patching the ship with wood from the enemy vessel, his hands steady despite the cold. Bjorn watched the horizon, his heart a storm of hope and fear. Astrid's face haunted him, her voice a whisper in the wind. The clash at Kattegat. Dawn broke blood-red, the sky heavy with the promise of battle. Wolf's Hunger cut through the waves, its sails taut, its crew silent, but for Leif's low chant to Thor. Sigrid traced runes in the air, seeking the god's favor, while Frida checked her quiver, her fingers steady. Eirik strummed a lyre, his voice weaving a song of their coming battle, a melody to carry them to glory or death. Ingrid sharpened her swords, her eyes gleaming with anticipation. They found Serpent's Breath at midday, its black sails a stain against the sea. Thrain's ship was larger, its crew hardened raiders, but Bjorn's heart burned brighter. He gave the order, and Wolf's Hunger surged forward, its ram crashing into Serpent's Breath with a sound like breaking bones. The battle erupted, axes sang, shields splintered, and the sea churned with blood. Leif, roaring like a beast, tore through Thrain's men, his axe a whirlwind. Frida's arrows flew, each finding a heart or throat, her calm unbroken amidst the chaos. Ingrid fought like a fury, her swords a blur, while Sigrid chanted, her voice calling to Freya. Eirik, spear in hand, fought with a poet's grace, his song never faltering. Bjorn carved a path to Thrain, who stood at the prow, his black axe gleaming. Sigurd's whelp. Thrain bellowed, his laugh cruel. "You chase death, boy." Bjorn's rage was a furnace, his axe meeting Thrain's in a clash that shook the deck. The duel was a saga in itself. Thrain, older and sly, struck with precision, but Bjorn's strength was relentless, each blow fueled by years of pain. The crew fought around them, holding the line. Frida's arrow saved Bjorn from a spear aimed at his back, and Leif's charge scattered Thrain's guards. Ingrid's swords felled a giant of a man who lunged at Bjorn, her blade singing. As a storm broke overhead, lightning illuminating the carnage, Bjorn shattered Thrain's shield. With a cry to Odin, he drove his axe into Thrain's chest, the black hack's body slumping into the sea, swallowed by the waves. The bitter tide. The deck of Serpent's Breath was a graveyard of broken men and splintered wood. Bjorn searched the captives, his heart pounding, but Astrid was not there. Sigrid, her face pale, cast the runes amidst the storm's dying breaths. Your mother lives, she whispered, but far beyond our seas, in a land of sand and stone, held by a merchant prince who trades in gold and lies. Bjorn's fist clenched, his vow unbroken. He would sail to the ends of the earth, through storms and unknown lands, to find her. The crew returned to Kattegat, their victory a tale for the ages. Eirik's song of the battle spread, skalds carrying it to every mead hall. But Bjorn's heart was heavy. He stood at the shore, the wind carrying whispers of distant lands, Araby, perhaps, or the lands of the caliphs. His crew vowed to follow, Sigrid with her visions, Leif with his fury, Frida with her steady aim, Gunnar with his ship, Ingrid with her blades, and Eirik with his songs. They rebuilt Wolf's hunger, its hull stronger, its sails ready for uncharted seas. The journey beyond. Bjorn's quest took him far from the fjords. They sailed through storms that tore at the sky, past shores where men spoke in tongues unknown. In a bustling port, they met a trader who spoke of a shield maiden with Astrid's fire, held in a city of minarets. Bjorn's hope flared, but danger followed. They faced pirates, their scimitars flashing under a burning sun. Leif's laughter echoed as he fought, his axe a storm of steel. Frida's arrows saved them from ambushes, her eyes sharp as a hawk's. Ingrid's swords carved through foes, her movements a dance of death. Sigrid's runes guided them, but the gods tested their resolve. Eirik's songs kept their spirits high, his voice alight in the darkest nights. In a desert land, they faced a sandstorm that blinded the sky, the wind howling like Fenrir unbound. Gunnar's skill kept Wolf's hunger afloat on rivers unknown, his hands steady as he navigated waters no Norse ship had sailed. They clashed with warriors clad in strange armor, their blades curved like crescent moons. Bjorn fought at the forefront, his axe a beacon, his heart fixed on Astrid. Sigrid's visions grew clouded, the runes speaking of betrayal. One night, a crew member, Hakon, a latecomer to their band, tried to steal their gold, his dagger aimed at Bjorn's back. Ingrid's quick blade stopped him, her loyalty unwavering. Hakon's body was given to the sea, a warning to any who would falter. The City of Stone. The saga tells of a final battle in a city of stone, where minarets pierced the sky and markets buzzed with voices from 100 lands. The merchant prince, a man of silk and steel, held Astrid in a palace guarded by warriors with eyes like vipers. Bjorn's crew infiltrated the city, disguised as traders, their weapons hidden beneath cloaks. Sigrid's runes led them to a hidden passage. Frida's arrows silenced guards, and Leif's strength broke through gates. Ingrid and Eirik fought side by side, their blades and songs a harmony of war. Bjorn faced the prince in a courtyard where fountains sang and torches burned. The prince was no warrior, but his guards were fierce, their spears flashing. Bjorn's axe was relentless, his crew a tide that overwhelmed the enemy. When the prince fell, Bjorn found Astrid in a chamber of silk, her hair gray, but her spirit unbroken. Her eyes lit with pride as she saw her son, now a man forged by battle. "You kept your oath," she whispered, her voice a balm to his scars. The return to the fjords. The journey home was long, the sea both friend and foe. Astrid told tales of her years in captivity, her defiance, her hope, her belief that Bjorn would come. The crew faced one final storm, as if the gods tested their worth one last time. Wolf's hunger held strong, Gunnar's hands guiding them through waves that roared like Jormungandr. When they reached Hardangerfjord, the cliffs welcomed them like kin. The village was gone, but its spirit lived in their hearts. Bjorn rebuilt a longhouse, Astrid at his side, their laughter echoing once more. Yet some say Bjorn's heart remained with the sea. He sailed again, his crew at his side, chasing new horizons. Eirik's songs carried their saga to every shore, a tale of a son's oath, a crew's loyalty, and the gods' watchful gaze. Epilogue, the eternal saga. The saga of Bjorn Ironside lives in the stones of Norway, sung by skalds and carved by the wind. It speaks of vengeance, of love that defies the seas, of warriors who became legends. As you hear this tale, picture the fjords, the clash of steel, the sea's endless song. Let it stir your blood, as it does ours, under the raven's wings and Odin's eternal eye.